If you're in search of a way to get hands-on AWS experience in a fun way, you have to check out today's video. Now, if you're new here, I'm Greg, creator of Thoughtful Techie Cloud. On this YouTube channel, I create videos to help you on your AWS cloud and tech journey. In today's video, I'm going to demo AWS Cloud Quest for Solutions Architect role. AWS Cloud Quest is a 3D game that puts you in a specific role that allows you to navigate a virtual city, interact with virtual citizens to solve real-world problems in a gamified environment. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe as I'm releasing videos on a weekly basis. Now, are you ready for today's demo? Let's go. Welcome to Cloud Isle. This is the level I'm at right now. I've already completed several of the activities in this, but this is my little avatar right here. That's me, or the best representation of myself. And I've selected some hoverboard scooter. You can just walk if you want to, but for the sake of the length of this video, I'm going to jump back on my little hoverboard here. And I'm navigating the city. There's all kinds of interesting things you can do. You bump into all these little virtual citizens. And there's somebody down here that I know of that needs some assistance with this exclamation point. So let's go over here. They're waving at me and see what they need. In this hands-on activity, we're going to be interacting with this citizen here, and the focus is decoupling applications. So our citizen says, "Hi, thanks for coming to the aid of the Space Center." So I'll click next. And then this is me talking in orange. "I love what you're doing here. How can I help?" Our space program runs very large events every time our satellite provides deep space images and videos. In fact, we have an event coming up soon. "That's great. I've been looking forward to your next event." "Well, we've received some complaints that some of the video and images are yielding null results and dropping requests." That's not good. "Our satellite has also had issues sending back large images because our websites were overloaded with traffic. Is there anything we can do to improve our image and video delivery system?" Well, luckily you have a solution architect here, so let's see what we can do. "I believe that decoupling your application can help. In this case, use Amazon Simple Queue Service, or Amazon SQS. You can store data requests in a queue until they can be processed by your backend application. This avoids drop requests or overloaded backend resources." I like that. "Can we also automatically notify users when new videos and images are available?" Well, of course we can. Sure. We can use Amazon Simple Notification Service, or Amazon SNS, to publish messages to a topic that you can define, such as satellite subscribers. Subscribers to that topic can now receive notifications of the new SNS messages whenever you want, such as when new videos and images are available. That sounds great. We want our users to enjoy the satellite discoveries without frustration. "Can you help our space program approve its image and video delivery system?" Of course we can. And this is the point where you'll click accept. Awesome, I can't wait. Start. So this board will load up, and then we'll get into the next part of the interface. So again, this lab is going to be about decoupling applications, which is improving the availability and fault tolerance, which will focus on decoupling microservices with messages sent to Amazon SQS queues and Amazon SNS topics. Now I'd like to walk you through this architecture. So this is all about decoupling an application, which involves designing modular independent components, simply called microservices. The microservices will communicate with each other through well-defined APIs to increase flexibility and scalability. Now, Amazon SNS is a managed service that we'll be using in this that will provide message delivery from publishers to subscribers, and these will also be known as producers and consumers. The publishers will communicate asynchronously with the subscribers by sending messages to a topic, which is a logical access point and communication channel. The clients can subscribe to an SNS topic and receive those published messages. Some common application-to-application subscribers include Amazon SQS, AWS Lambda, HTTPS endpoints, and Amazon Kinesis Data Firehose. Some common application-to-person subscribers would include mobile text, which is SMS, mobile push, and email notifications. This diagram here represents a fan-out scenario, which is when a message publishes to an SNS topic and is replicated and pushed to multiple endpoints. And a fan-out scenario is great because it provides parallel asynchronous processing, which is what we want in this architecture. Now that we've taken care of that, let's go over to the plan. The AWS Cloud Quest labs always have two parts. They have a practice lab part, and then they have a do-it-yourself part. In this demo, I'm going to focus on the practice lab part. And to begin the practice lab, all we have to do is click on the practice button down here in the lower right-hand corner. The environment for every lab you need to do is all set up for you automatically. To initiate that, all you need to do is in the upper left-hand corner here, click on Start Lab. Once that lab environment has been stood up, all we need to do is click on Open AWS Console to bring up that AWS environment. This is the AWS lab environment that we'll be working with. And in this video, I'm going to toggle back and forth between the instructions and the lab environment for this demo. Now, if you're doing this at home, it's ideally that you either have a dual monitor setup or a large screen to where you can have your lab instructions and your AWS environment side by side. I find that it's just a little bit easier to navigate the labs. In this lab, we have 25 steps. Step 1 is always to review the practice lab objectives, start the lab, and let's see if we have any lab files. We do have a lab file for this, sample code. So the nice thing about these labs, if you do need any code, these are all provided for you. I'll go ahead and download that code now. So that code is all downloaded. I'm going to go back over to my steps, and we're going to go ahead and proceed to step 2. Step 2 is go over to SNS and pull that up. So I'm going to go back over here to the console, type SNS in the search field, and we're going to pull up the simple notification service. Now I go back over to my steps, and then after we pull the simple notification service up, we go to next step. So we're going to create an SNS topic called image notification. So I'll go back over here and I'll type image notification. Okay, and then simply go to next step. So we'll go back over here to next step, go back over to our directions, see what's going on here. And then it says scroll down to the bottom of the page, keep all the default settings and create topic and go to the next step. All right, so it says keep all the default settings, go down to the bottom and say create topic. Okay, so that has created. Let's see what our next step is. Now it says in the details under the ARN, select highlight and copy the provided ARN and then paste it to the text editor of your choice. So let's go back over here. I'm going to highlight this and paste it somewhere handy so I have it for later. Okay, I have a copy of that. So let's go back over to our directions, hit the next step. Things are moving along pretty good. So we want to go over to our SQS, Simple Queue Service, to get that going. Simple Queue Service, click on that. And now we're over in here into the Amazon SQS queue. Let's go back to our instructions and see what we need to do. Go to next steps. And we are going to, on the Amazon SQS console homepage, click create queue and go to the next step. So we click the create queue. We'll go to our next step here. In the details section for the name, type image queue. Okay. So the name of the queue is going to be image queue. And then we'll go over to our directions, hit next step. Okay, on this page, click the Lab Files tab, download the sample code text, which we've already done. Open the file in the text editor of your choice, and you will use this code in this file in a later step. Okay, so I have that code handy on my desktop, so I'm just going to proceed to the next step. Step 10 says, scroll down to the access policy. For choose method, choose advanced. In the policy code window, after the first resource item in the statement list, immediately after line 15, paste the JSON code from the file you just downloaded. All right, so let's go over to access policy. Okay, here's the access policy. Let's go back over to our directions. We want to choose method advanced. So choose method advanced. Okay, and then in the policy code, after the first resource item in statement list, immediately after line 15, paste the JSON. Be sure to include the leading comma as shown in the example shot. Okay, so we're going to get all this. I'm going to paste this from my code. Let's go back over here, line 15, directly after line 15. So let's go back and look at that picture to make sure we're not making any issues. Okay, so I'm right on line 15. Nice. I'm going to put it right here. Boom, paste it right in there, just like we did in the picture. Now we're going back over to this directions. It says go to the next step. All right, so we're going to the next step. Now in step 11, we have several things to do. We have to go to line 14 of the policy, copy the image Q SQS ARN, and then in line 21, paste the SQS ARN to replace the placeholder text SQS Q ARN. Okay, so let's jump back over to this. Simply want to take the line 14 here, grab hold of this, copy it, and then drop it down in line 21 right here between the quotes. Bam, put it right there. Now we're going to go back over to the directions, and in part 3 of step 11, in line 24, paste the image notification SNS ARN that you copied in an earlier step. Remember we did that earlier? And replace the text SNS topic ARN is displayed in this bottom here on step 24. So I'm going to go to where I copy this in my text editor. Copying that now. Then I'm going to go to line 24 here. Right there in the middle. Paste that in. Got a little white space there. Okay. So after we've done that, looks like we're good to go to the next step. Step 12 is a lot easier. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click Create Queue. I think I can handle that. So let's create the queue. Queue image created successfully. Now let's go back over to our steps. Step 13. In the details section under URL, click the copy icon to copy the image queue URL. And then save it to your text editor. Let's jump back over here again. Let's copy this URL. I'm going to go to my text editor and do as it says and just paste this in because we're going to be using that later. And then go to the next step. In step 14, we're going to click on the SNS subscription tab and then click subscribe to an Amazon SNS topic. So this is our SNS subscription tab already selected. Then we're going to subscribe to an Amazon SNS topic. And we'll go back over to our steps to see what the next step is. Step 15 is to simply go in here to our drop down and select that SNS topic that we created earlier. So we'll do this, go back over to our instructions, and we just need to save that. After we've saved that, we'll go to our next step. Step 16 is in the top navigation bar, search type EC2. So we're going to go over here, search for EC2, pull this up. Now let's go back over to our next step. And in step 17 on the EC2 dashboard, in the resources section, click running instances. So I'll click running instances. Looks like we have 2 instances that are running here. I remember when we were talking to the virtual citizen, they were talking about thumbnails and different things like that. And let's take a look at step 18. Step 18 is in the instances section, choose the checkbox to select thumbnail UI instance. The thumbnail application, which is a producer in this case, creates thumbnail images and then sends the image to the SQS queue. On the details tab under public IPv4 address, click the copy icon to copy the address. All right, so we got a bunch of things we need to do here. Let's go over to thumbnail UI. And then, okay, on the details, copy the icon to the provider address. Okay, cool. So we're going to go over and just copy that IP address. Let's see if they want the public one. Yes, the Elastic IP address. Okay, we are going to copy the public IP or the Elastic IP address in this case. So this is copied. And I will pop this down here in my text editor. And then we'll go to the next step. We're getting there close to the end. So step 19, in a new browser or window address bar, type the public IP address and the thumbnail. I've opened up a new browser. Let me go ahead and paste in that public elastic IP address and then follow it up with thumbnail at the end of the URL and hit enter. And this demo application has popped up. Let's go back over to our instructions here, and it says, for the Amazon SQS queue URL, paste the image queue URL that you created in the earlier step. We'll jump back over and paste that in, and then we'll say, I believe we'll do submit on that. Yes, click submit. Success. Now let's go back over to our instructions. So let's go, done everything we need to do there. Go over to step 20. Review the success message, which we just got, and then close this browser tab and go to the next step. So we'll close that out and go to the next step. Step 21, on the instances page of Amazon EC2 console, choose the checkbox to select the Loader UI instance. Okay, let's go over there, select the Loader UI instance. Go back over to our instructions. The loader application is the consumer, and this will retrieve images from the SQS queue. On the Details tab under Public IPv4 address, click the copy icon to copy the provided address. So we're going to go over there, select the public IP address for the Loader UI instance. Boom. I'm going to copy that in a text editor so we can have that for later. And it says go to the next step. Step 22 is in a new browser or window address bar, type that public IP address and loader. So I've pasted this IP address in. Now I'm going to type loader, hit enter on that. Now let's check out our steps here. So it says for Amazon SNS topic ARN, paste the image notification SNS ARN that you copied in an earlier step. So I just got a copy of that ARN that they're needing. Go ahead and paste that in, click submit. Now let's check out our next step, which is step 23. Click start. This initiates the application retrieval of messages from the queue. So let's go back over here, select start. Messages received from Amazon SQS. And now we'll go over to step 24, almost done. For the message received from Amazon SQS, review the notification. The process may take a minute or two to complete. Let's go check it out. Excellent. The thumbnail SQS pipeline is operational as indicated by the picture of this thumbnail and this complete message. In step 25, congratulations, you've completed the practice section. Go to the do-it-yourself section to complete the solution. Now, this is the part of the lab where I encourage you to check this out. The first part we did was practice, so there's a lot of direction about what to do and where to go, but the do-it-yourself section is a limited guidance that takes the skills that you just learned in the practice section to equip you with being able to have what you need to be able to do the do-it-yourself. So I'll just give you a quick preview of that. So in the do-it-yourself activity, you have to create an additional SQS queue and subscribe to your existing SNS topic. And in order to validate the solution, the validation process will need to reach out and be able to verify that SQS queue and then make sure that it's subscribed to the existing SNS topic. Now, I know we went over a lot of steps. There's still a do-it-yourself option left for you to do. And as you can see, not only is this a fun game, you actually have to do work. Now, when you complete that do-it-yourself option, what will happen is you'll pass that particular level, and then that virtual citizen will thank you for all the great work that you've done, and then you can advance in the game to more activities as you bump into more virtual citizens. If you found this video interesting, I'm betting you'll also find this video interesting as well. So take a look at it. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.